Greetings Kaiju fans and Kaiju collectors, it's Thomas here with Monster Island Kaiju Reviews, and today we have a fairly exciting quick review, and this time it is the X Plus 30cm FSL Godzilla 1974, the Favorite Sculptors Line version. And this is originally a Monster Maker 28 particular sculpt or kit figure, and X Plus went ahead and got theirs done in vinyl. And I gotta tell you, this figure is outstanding. Well, before we go on to the figure, here's the box, and I got the Ric version, which is the Lightup, and this came I want to say about 10 days ago, and probably about 5 days to a week after the majority of the other people got theirs. So I was a little bit late to the party, and I saw all those pictures, and it was so exciting to see that it looks really great. So obviously I went ahead and took him out of the box, and first thing I noticed right away is that he's got these really piercing eyes. I just don't recall him having such huge eyes, but I'm going to check out some pictures in just a minute here. And I've also heard that some folks have their Godzilla with their mouth a little bit more open or closed. I want to say mine is kind of slightly open, so I can see some of the teeth, and I think that's not a bad compromise at all. So my first impression of this figure is that I really liked it. I actually love this figure. This one, I wasn't really thinking about it all that much until it started popping up. I just said, it seemed pretty good in the promotional pictures, and a 74, man, that is definitely a must buy. And I am definitely very pleased, and I think other people will also agree that this one is a fantastic release by X Plus. Off the top, arguably one of my favorites of the year. And I know that's without me thinking about any of the other figures that came out, but this definitely is in my top 3 of the year for X Plus, easily. It's just so charming. And a little backstory on Godzilla, the 1974 film, was that with the Mechagodzilla, that was, his appearance was just so memorable. So that's why I have a kind of a little soft spot for that particular movie. Not so much the Godzilla at the time, but it definitely has grown on me. And the Showa versions, especially the 70s ones, has really, they've always had a soft spot in my heart. Especially the 1971, the heroic Godzilla. Actually, Godzilla's been heroic in many of the films, but this one here was also memorable because this particular Godzilla got some severe damage from Mechagodzilla, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'm kind of rambling because this one is so cool. They did a great job on the paint application. It's a basic charcoal, not much. I don't really see that much highlighting going on, but once again, I'm in here. I can't really tell, but the dorsal plates are really nicely done. It's got a nice long tail. Yeah, it's got the bone colored, kind of like the bone colored claws and nails. But the most endearing thing is his face. I think they did a great job on that. I know some folks have already got the MM28 version, and I would imagine it's really close. But I am for one just really glad that this came out, and most people had an opportunity to pick this up. So yeah, that is my basic first impression of this figure. I think they did a fantastic job. I'm just wondering how it's going to do as far as figure of the year for X Plus. I think it's going to do really well. So let's go ahead and get this guy outside and get some quick video so you guys can see him a little bit better. And let's do that right now. For our first comparison, we have a Max Toy Ultraman, and this is the pink with glitter version. And although these guys are pretty small, they pack quite the punch and really stand out in your collection. For our next comparison, we have a figure that was supposed to come out at G-Fest this year, but it did not make it, and it ended up being sold through Tempting Toys, and they tried to get it to the folks that actually attended G-Fest. And this is a really colorful version and stands out also in your collection. For our next comparison, we have a M1 1954 Godzilla, and this one has a really beautiful, gorgeous sculpt and color. And wait a minute, looks like we have a disturbance. Looks like Godzilla has its battle under control. This Mechagodzilla also comes with a pretty cool base. And finally, here's a shot of all the figures together. Okay guys, we are back inside, and before we get started with the conclusion of this review, I wanted to bring out a few more figures. This is the X Plus 30cm Gigam, and as you can see, it's a little bit on the smaller side, but that's still a very nice figure. Now here's one that matches up pretty well. This is the 30cm X Plus Megalon, and this is the Ric one that came with the flying Jet Jaguar, and that guy was the figure of the year when that one came out. And that's an awesome figure. I highly recommend it. But this 74 looks awesome. And here's a pretty cool size comparison. This is the, what is that? The Chef Resin King Caesar. It's definitely 30cm size, if not a little bit bigger. Really nicely done, and it comes with a base. Well, here's a shot with additional lighting, and you guys can make out the details a little bit better now. And I think it's time that we check out the light up feature. Right now this is without the lights on, and boom, here he is with the lights. And I gotta tell you, they did a really good job on this one. Sometimes I used to see a bunch of bleed through on the dorsal plates. This one, I don't see anything. They did a really great job. Maybe they've actually heard some folks complaining about it, and they did a great job. With my naked eye here, it has like a very lightish blue. On the video here, it looks more blue than it should, but nevertheless, it does look really nice, and I think it definitely adds a lot to this particular figure. Hey guys, I'm back, and I hope you guys liked the additional size comparisons. And I went ahead and brought back the King Caesar, and I think I said originally this was by Chef Resin. It's actually Resin Chef. I always mix those up. And this one here is a resin statue. I keep wanting to say a figure. I know folks have been wanting a vinyl figure of this guy in 30cm form. Who knows if we're going to get it. I think it's just a matter of time. But this one here is very nicely done, and we'll have to stand in until that does happen. And as a bonus, I actually took out this 30cm Jet Jaguar X Plus figure, standard form. No articulation. I thought the arms move. Oh, hey, I spoke too soon. The arms, hey, I have never moved this before. Okay, it does move. What do you know? And this one, yeah, this one is the standard version. The Ric has the light up eyes, which I think would be a nice touch, but I'll have to live with this one here. He's got a little articulation in his little feet too. Okay, well, I figured this will look nice together and with him in the middle. Now back to the star of this review is the 74 FSL Godzilla. My final words on this figure is that it's awesome, and I'm liking it every time I see it. When I saw him first out of that box, I just was smiling. I thought he was so charming. I mean, I don't know how Godzilla could be charming, but this guy has some character in his face. He's got these eyes. I don't know, something about the eyes. I think this is really cool, and and the the light up is great. I know some folks have said, oh, the light up doesn't really add much, but I beg to differ on this one here. I think it definitely is a huge plus. Just livens him up so much more. And if the light up does fail, then we'll just have a standard Godzilla, and I guess I'll be okay with that. I don't think I'll be turning it on too often, other than for this review and maybe some photography a little bit later. So yeah, so that's it for this review for this guy. I think he's great. I highly recommend this figure. Great sculpt, great details, a lot of charm, a lot of personality. I think you can't go wrong with this figure. And I am having a 1K giveaway coming up really soon. We're getting really close. I did reveal some of the giveaway items in my other videos, and I am going to add one more soon. And as we get a little bit closer, I'm gonna show you guys what it is. I appreciate all your support. Thanks for sharing my channel, liking, and comments. And yeah, that's about it for now. Stay tuned for more, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye bye.